Hey there, Taurus. Welcome to your reading for, this is going to be your May bonus reading. This is going to be a Mega Deck reading, and this right here is Mega Deck. It's a combination of the Good Oracle, the Sacred Shaman Oracle, and the Shaman's Dream Oracle as well. And yeah, that's that. So we're just going to jump right in here and see what's going on for you. I'm going to pull 4 rows. That's basically what I've been doing for everyone, and we are going to clarify with just the regular old tarot, so that's going to be how this works. But Taurus, in your first position, you have that Lost in Space card. You have this Call card, which is like Judgment, and then you have this Magic card as well. So I kind of feel like you are very magical at this time, and I also feel that you kind of need to tap more into this magical type of energy. So, you know, that's what I would say here. The other interesting thing is that you have some cards that I think Virgo had in their reading. So I shuffle this deck in between readings. I just don't do it on camera because it would take me like 40 minutes at the beginning of every single reading. So for people who need to see shuffling, well, number one, I would say you probably shouldn't watch tarot, but number two, go watch someone else. But number three, that just proves that I shuffle in between readings because you have repeating cards here, or I guess it doesn't, but whatever. The point is that other people had this. It might have been Scorpio as well, and I do have it popping into my head here. Just looking around here, I feel like some of you, it's like you could be dealing with a Scorpio or something like that. It's weird that Scorpio doesn't show up in the reading, but just intuitively I have it popping into my head. The other thing is that I said to Scorpio, you know, I said that they need to kind of like believe a little bit more in magic. They need to believe a little bit more in the kind of like that magical things can happen for them. And again, I'm not necessarily talking about real magic here. I'm talking more about like, you know, needing to believe that just good things can happen to you. And, you know, we kind of see that here. You go up to the Temperance card. This transformation card's like the Temperance card in this deck. And then you go to this Crown Games card, which says right use of power. But with the Temperance card, we can turn a positive into a negative. We can also turn a negative into a positive just as easily. And so I kind of feel like this is saying that by believing in things, you know, in believing that you deserve good things, as simply as that sounds, I think that could really be, you know, that could really improve your month of May. You have this Judgment card here, so you're being called towards like some sort of new beginning, because we go Temperance, Ace of Wands, or you're being called to kind of like, it's almost like you're being called to bring, you know, kind of create your own reality in this reading. Create your dream life, whatever that means for you, Taurus, is kind of like what I'm getting. And I think this is the challenge. You have this Lost in Space card. It says in need of direction. So it's like knowing what to do. And I think that this is like the biggest problem, you know, as someone who was stuck for a very long time. I think that the problem is kind of like knowing what steps to take. And I kind of feel there's a couple of problems, you know, with that is like, number one, I think that we are overthinking when we're worried about what steps to take. We actually probably do know what to do. We're just overthinking it. And we're also giving something like too much power, basically, or we're saying that we're giving something too much weight, right? Like if you're wanting to start a project or a business or a relationship, but you're not starting because you feel like you don't know what to do, it's almost like you're giving it too much power, you know, whatever that situation is. You're saying, you know, if this situation doesn't work out for me, it's going to ruin my life. You know, maybe that's what you're thinking. Let's see. With the Lost in Space card, you have the King of Pentacles, you showing up in a very strong position. You know, this puts you in a position of power and strength. It allows you to get what you want from the reading. It really kind of says you know more, or you have more power than you think. So, you know, I do feel like you need to get moving. With the Judgment card there, you have the Six of Swords. You know, both cards are kind of like a rite of passage. Not really with the Judgment card, but the Six of Swords definitely is a rite of passage. You know, it represents going across the choppy waters to get to the other side. But I do kind of get like, you know, rite of passage vibes off this Judgment card. It's almost like you're being called. You know, obviously, if you take this step and if you're giving something too much weight in your life or too much pressure or power, right? And then you take that step to build something bigger than you, you know, that could be like a rite of passage. That could be something that does create a major change. And I'm kind of wondering, like, if you're starting a business, maybe you're fearing, like maybe you don't really say this in your head, but right? But maybe the fear is like, oh my God, what is this going to do in my life? Or what is this going to do to my life? Maybe you're fearing the change, but maybe it's more subconscious as well. With that Magic card, you have the Four of Wands. Yeah, this is the path to freedom. The Four of Wands is always funny to me because, to me, it's a finish line card. Number one, there's normally that garland thing that hangs between the Four of Wands, and it is a card of completion. It can represent completing one thing to get to the other side. but you kind of have to go through that portal. It is a transition card. You have to go through some sort of transition to get to the other side, and I definitely feel that energy for you here, Taurus. In your next row, you have the Page of Wands. Page of Wands is like a new beginning. It is also a card of enthusiasm, or being enthusiastic, like enthusiastically moving towards things that you want to do, be, or have in your life. And we go this way here, and you go to the Ace of Wands to the Queen of Pentacles. It's almost like saying to me, if you just follow the things that get you excited, that bring, joy and happiness into your life, I feel like the resources that are necessary for you to be successful are just going to start showing up. But, I really do believe that we are in a time where if you don't get started, you're not going to get anything. It's like, the universe is basically saying to us, like, no, you have to get started and prove that you're actually willing to put in the work, and then we'll give you the resources, which is hard to do because, I think people think too much like, oh, I don't want to overinvest in something and then be left out in the cold. And I'm not talking about love here necessarily. It could be a business, an idea, a project you want to work on, something that you've been working on, right? And so I feel like you just need to start doing your research, and it doesn't even matter what it is. Like, people keep saying to me, I know I want to start this business, but I don't know what to do. I'm like, well, actually, number one, you probably do not know what to do. Number two, start a YouTube channel talking about it. And, maybe that sounds ridiculous, but you're putting energy into the universe. You are starting to talk about something that you're going to do. And, just talk about what you're learning. Talk about ideas that you have for the business and all this other stuff. We're not talking about giving away your trade secrets here, but we're just talking about like ideas, random stuff, right? It doesn't have to be anything important. And then when you do that, you're proving to the universe that you're serious. And I kind of get that vibe here. You have this transformation card. I do feel this way as well, that you have this crown games card, which it looks amazing. It's like a golden crown on top of this person's head. It looks to me like you could be gaining some like recognition or just some good energy, and it looks to me like you'll be creating, or you will be recognized for something that you're creating as well. So, and I also feel like you don't realize how quickly things will transform if you get started. Next, you have this Earth Keeper card, which is you. You are basically the Earth Keeper. You are, an earth sign, and we see a lot of earth energy here. So it looks to me like you are kind of standing in your power at this time. I also feel like you're very grounded, but again, with the magic energy and then the Earth Keeper here, I kind of feel it is saying that it's time to think a little bit more magical. It's time to, maybe you're being too grounded, right? And maybe you need to invite some of your intuition or some of your creative energy. We see a lot of creative energy here because you have the Ace of Wands, but going this way, it's amazing. You have two aces, which is a definite yes to any question that I don't answer. But the Ace of Wands and the Ace of Pentacles there, really, really good if you're starting something new, like a new project. With the Page of Wands, you have the Four of Cups. This is the White Sage Tarot, and I love this White Sage Tarot deck, and this Four of Cups as well in this deck, because those three cups are pouring into one cup. So it kind of represents the fact that you're about to be pouring into, I think you're about to be putting your energy into one thing. Maybe you've been too scattered and now you're coming, it's like there's a certain level of focus is what I'm getting there. This could also be love, and it could say, if you're attracting love, by the way, it could be a fire sign, clearly. You keep getting fire with me. It could be an earth sign as well, but whatever, it could be any sign. And I feel like it's a person who really pours into you. With the Temperance card, you have the Nine of Pentacles. Yeah, very independent at this time. Nine of Pentacles also really tells me that you have some sort of skill that maybe, well, you could be using it, or maybe you're not using it, but the Nine of Pentacles represents being very skilled. And so does the King of Pentacles as well, which we see going this way. The King of Pentacles normally has grapes on his cloak. The Nine of Pentacles, normally there are grapes behind her. And grapes in the tarot represent something that's very difficult to grow. So it says you have very special skills that could make you very successful. With the Earth Keeper card, you have the Nine of Wands. Nine of Wands, like the wounded warrior. So again, more about like kind of needing to believe that you can manifest or accomplish something that is maybe a little bit more magical. I would also say more experimentation. We have Mercury retrograde right now, and to me, Mercury retrograde is an amazing time for experimentation, trying new things on the things that you're already working on in life. It's a great time to do that. Next, you have this Crown Games card. It says right use of power. I feel like you are using your power in the right way, but I also do feel that there's like a hidden talent, gift, skill, or ability that you have, or just something that you're good at that you should be using. And if you're not using it, I would start using it, because, I feel like it could be helping you in your work or your career. It could be something else as well, but, I do feel a lot of you, it's kind of like just about using your skills and kind of like getting things going with this card. You have the Ace of Wands. This is like the one thing you need. Sometimes that's how I feel about the Ace of Wands, is that it's like that spark of inspiration. It's just that one thing we need to get motivated, to pick a new direction in life, or to get working towards something new, or, whatever it is that you're doing. It's like something that usually inspires us. It is like the spark of life. It kind of represents the seed, the root going down into the soil. It's like that initial spark. So I feel for a lot of you, you could be getting inspired, or you could feel inspired by something this week. I feel like saying this week as well. So I'm doing this on the 29th of April, so it could be like the first week of May. This is for all of May, but it could be like the first week of May that you are feeling very inspired. Next, you have this, the giveaway card, and you have this Dream Thief. It says refusal of the call. Yeah, so don't refuse like what you are feeling called to do. I don't think anything is stealing anything from you. I feel this is saying don't steal from yourself, as in don't prevent yourself from living in joy and happiness after you accomplish something great. Because it looks to me like this reading is talking about some sort of accomplishment that you could be starting, or some sort of accomplishment that could be coming in for you here. Like I said, it's funny that I said don't give away your trade secrets earlier. I mean, one thing I am getting is like, again, I think it's perfectly acceptable to start a YouTube channel and talk about some general ideas that you have. But again, don't give away any like deep secrets that you have. But again, that could get the energy going. It's like maybe you want to start a restaurant. It's like you don't have to give away your secret recipes, but you could just talk about your ideas about having a restaurant. You could react to other restaurant channels. Just get started is what I'm going to say, Taurus, and it doesn't matter if no one watches. Again, I always tell people, it's like, doesn't matter if no one watches. It doesn't matter if your videos don't get picked up or anything like that. You're proving to the universe that you're serious about like starting your business. So, again, when we do that, that's like the easiest way to get started. And, I would just do it is what I would say. Let's see. With the Crown Games card, you have the Seven of Pentacles here. It's like what you've been doing, I feel, maybe just hasn't been working as well as you wanted, which I think this is like a true story for basically everyone with the Seven of Pentacles. Seven of Pentacles says, is the juice worth the squeeze? Is what you've been doing, is it gonna like working up until this point, or is it not working? So I feel for a lot of you, this is like some sort of change in direction in your life. With the Ace of Wands, you have the Six of Pentacles. Six of Pentacles, like equal give and take. And so I feel like and it is also a card of planting seeds. And I feel like I say this to you all the time, Taurus, that you need to like plant seeds in your life in a new direction. And then, I would like try a couple of your ideas, especially with the Nine of Wands. I'm a big fan of earth signs doing this. I have a Capricorn stellium in my chart. Literally, I'm just looking at my channel, number one, but there are other things in my life where I am just planting seeds like crazy. The things that work, I double down on those things. The things that don't work, I throw it out. So, it's like, to me, we are in a time of planting seeds. The more, you want to be like a farmer right now, especially you, because you have Uranus and Taurus, and also you're a Taurus, and also, I really feel the universe is rewarding that earth sign energy with being able to like, plant your ideas and watch them grow, right? And like I said, the things that work, double down on those things and get rid of the rest. But if you don't do anything, then nothing's going to happen. With this giveaway card and the Dream Thief card, you have the Chariot. Yeah, you have to set yourself apart at this time. It's crazy to me that basically everyone nowadays gets the Chariot. The Chariot, normally, he has that city behind him, and I really believe that with Pluto and Aquarius, that I think the Chariot is basically saying to everyone that the universe really wants us to be setting ourselves apart right now. It's like, I think that we have to come up with like unique things that are unique. When you think about it, it's like everything is becoming the same. So we have to do things that are different. And again, just look at my channel. I do different stuff all the time, right? So I would say if you're like starting a business, I would try something new. If you're, or come up with new ideas, wacky ideas, whatever they are, doesn't matter. Same thing with a relationship as well. It's like if you're starting a relationship and all your past relationships haven't worked, then I would say try something new. Is there a different way you could be in the relationship? Is there a different type of person that you could enter into a relationship with? Like I can't answer these questions for you. You have to figure it out for yourself. But if you do that, clearly there's a lot of success here. In your last row, you have this Ace of Pentacles, literally the card of a garden. There's normally flowers on the front of a traditional Eight of Pentacles, and it kind of represents opportunity. The Ace of Pentacles only represents opportunity, it kind of, and potential, I should say, as well. So, pretty much I think that there's unlimited potential in something that you're working on in your life. But, again, if you don't plant the seeds and then nurture them, then nothing is going to happen. And I definitely feel that here. I also do feel something about love. Like if you want love, it could be an earth sign or a fire sign, like I said. Definitely both of those two kind of really stand out to me. But what I would say is this person's really very well balanced. Like I have, I have like the whole trifecta popping into my head, like health, wealth, happiness. So it's like if you're attracting a person, I feel like they have like a good combination of all of those things: health, wealth, happiness. They probably work on all three of those things every single day as well, is what I would say. So they probably do, activities, or, they do things to improve those areas of their life. I also feel that, again, what's more important is they don't need someone to be happy. Which, again, I think is like a big problem in modern day relationships, is like people think like, oh, this person's supposed to make me happy, which never happens. So, I think that this person, I do feel like they're kind of just very independent, maybe, and, able to take care of themselves, but looks like a good opportunity. Next, you have this Tidy House card. It says clarity and organization. Multiple signs. I think like 3 people have had this card, which is crazy. There's 900 cards in Mega Deck or something like that. I don't know. It's like a billion cards. Who knows? I haven't counted. Doesn't matter. But the whole point is that, I've shuffled and multiple people have had this card. So, I think there is a cleaning up energy. Makes perfect sense with Mercury retrograde. Mercury retrograde is a great time to redo, revisit, whatever, right? And so I think that cleaning definitely fits into that. But it could also just be like organizing, right? It's like I relaunched my Tarot Masterclass and I have all these problems with Teachable, so I ended up redoing it now, and I'm putting it on another platform that's like way easier, which is like, this is typical retrograde stuff. So it's like, that's an example of cleaning things up. It's like I made something cleaner, better. So you might not literally be cleaning, but you could be cleaning something up. You could be reorganizing something. And I think that breathing new life into things, especially, this isn't accurate tarot, but when you have like the Judgment card and something like that, that kind of says to me that, you could be breathing new life into something by kind of revisiting it and redoing it, or just updating it a little bit, kind of like I'm doing with my class, right? I'm revisiting it, re-updating it, making it fresh. And, I feel like doing that would be a good idea. If you, I'm not saying you have to do this for a class that you have, but if you're like working on anything, like kind of, fixing things up might be a good idea. You have the Queen of Pentacles as well. I was getting something earlier, and I said this to you earlier, that I was getting something about resources. The Queen of Pentacles is the card of resources, but, I was getting something about how, like, if you just get started, then the resources will appear. And again, I think that's like the hardest part of being alive right now, is that if we, again, anything we want to do, we're not going to have what we need to get it started. We just have to get it started. We have to, even if that means not directly. Again, I always tell people, like, start a YouTube channel, start writing about it, just start scripting about it. It's like, as long as you're putting that energy out there, then you will be successful. The other thing you could do is, like, I had some guy talk about how he wanted to start a construction company or something like that. And I was like, oh, and he was like, so I need money to start. I'm like, actually, you don't. It's like, why don't you put something up on your Facebook or your Instagram or whatever and say, like, hey, would anybody be interested? It's like, why not just see if people would actually be interested in what you have to offer? You don't have to, like, get the money, get the interest first, and then worry about everything after that. It's like, I think people think too much. As someone who has been, like, I started this with negative dollars in my bank account, this channel right here. So it's like, I've started so many things with no money. So it's definitely possible. And, I would just say, like, what can you do to kind of like start something and get something going, right? Let's see. With that Ace of Pentacles, you have the Knight of Pentacles. Yes, you just have to get started. Knight of Pentacles is overthinking, not getting started, being too safe. So, it's time to take a risk, and that's all I have. With the Tidy House card, you have the High Priestess. Yeah, trust you. I feel like this could be why that card is coming up. It's like when things are a mess. It like today it is 11:30, and you're the first reading that I'm doing today. Normally I'm done with my readings by like 8:30 in the morning at the latest. Usually I get started by like 6, and so basically I've been working on that class, right? But it was like taking up too much brain space. All the problems with it, all the issues. It was just taking up too much brain space. I had to clean it up. And that's like the feeling that I get here. It's like if there are some problems or if things aren't clean, it's probably just going to consume your thoughts, and you're not going to be able to get started. So clean up whatever you have to clean up is what I feel like this is saying. And trust your intuition. With the Queen of Pentacles, you have the Death card. Yeah, some sort of transformation we already talked about going on here. I feel like there could be a transformation in your finances. It looks like your finances could really be improving here as well, Taurus. So this looks really good. We're going to pull 5 main themes now. You start off with this versatility card. Everybody's had this card as well. Versatility is all about being flexible. So like I said, we can't necessarily go straight to our goal. I think that the way we get there is probably not how we expect. So we just have to be open to different ways of doing things, and then we will be successful. You have this patience card. I feel like you have been patient. This card always reminds me of the Nine of Pentacles. Like, she kind of looks like her, doesn't she? The middle lady here. And so, I kind of feel Nine of Pentacles vibes. You're very independent. You do have the Nine of Pentacles here as well. So there's clearly like improvements in your finances that you've been waiting for that are coming in. You have this protection card. Again, crazy. A lot of people have had this card as well. So, I kind of feel we're maybe being protected by risk, or we're being protected from mistakes. I love making mistakes during Mercury retrograde. So, personally, and, it always teaches me something. So, I think you're protected at this time. Next, you have this choices card. I feel like there could be an important decision. Can we get details on that? Or no, maybe. You have this egotism card. I would be careful. Like, maybe you have a choice between you and like a person who has a big ego. I would avoid people who have a big ego as well with this energy. But I would also say, like, I think, it is a retrograde. So, if there are moments where someone comes to you and you want to rip their face off, then, I would say don't choose not to go after them, right? You have this innovation card. Yes, innovation is definitely rewarded for you at this time. 9 of Wands, 6 of Pentacles. I think anything new could, for you that you are innovating on will lead to a lot of success. So I love this reading for you, Taurus. Looks really good. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.